What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and it's another sad day for us Cats fans because there have been more players delisted from our roster going into season 2026. There's a little white silver lining hanging around that looming cloud at the moment, but there has been some negative news as well. So we'll get straight into it here because unfortunately the news reads Geelong Cats announced further list changes. They've confirmed further changes to the AFL playing squad ahead of the 2026 season. And what we are seeing here as the headline act of this news piece is that Ted Clohesy will be departing the Cats. Geelong has confirmed further changes to its AFL playing squad ahead of the 2026 season. The club thanks Ted Clohesy for his contribution to the Cats, with the midfielder told he would not be offered a contract for 2026. Clohesy departs after 12 AFL games across the past 3 seasons at the Cats. He earned his AFL debut in round 24 of the 2023 season and played a further 11 games for the Cats at AFL level, including 9 in 2025. And I think of those 6 were as the sub, which the club doesn't quite disclose in this particular point. Across 11 VFL games this season, Clohesy averaged 28.6 disposals, 8 tackles, and 6.5 clearances a game, while also contributing on scoreboard with 8 goals across the season, finishing 7th in the Cats' VFL best and fairest count. Geelong Cats General Manager of Football, Andrew Mackie, thanked Clohesy for his time at the club. Ted has had a positive impact at the club and has been a consistent performer at VFL level, finishing runner-up in our best and fairest in 2024 and placing in the top 10 again this season, Mackie said. We would like to thank Ted for his contribution to our football program and wish him all the best in the future. And here's the silver lining part, but obscured by a bit of a grey cloud as things stand. The Cats have also delisted George Stevens and Keighton Matofai-Forbes, with the club committed to redrafting them in next month's rookie draft. We'll talk all about the implications of such decisions. Of course, there's a lot of love in particular for Ted Clohesy and George Stevens within our Hoops Crew community. I'm keen to talk about all of these details right after this word from our sponsor.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist. Visit them at shop 1211 Leather Street in Breakwater. Phone them on 035 222 2244 or visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au and use the offer code GOCATS in the voucher field at checkout to get 20% off your next online purchase.
Thank you, Cyril Cook Florist, as always, for your ongoing support of the Hoops Crew and all we get up to. Now, let's break down the news. It's very clear. Ted Clohesy, gone. There was some interest from other clubs during the trade period, and I'm surprised that if Geelong's intention was to delist him, I'm surprised that they didn't take some sort of action. We, of course, got absolutely peanuts for Patrick Rechko, given that we had already delisted him. It was essentially, in my mind, it was to ensure that Richmond, they clearly wanted him. It was Richmond trying to ensure that they could get the guy that they wanted. So there was a trade there on a player who was to be delisted anyway that resulted in that one. I feel like there was definitely other clubs sniffing around Ted Clohesy and the prospect of him being packaged up in other deals. Certainly, if anyone recalls some of the pitches and ideas I'd put together for the Rowan Marshall and Charlie Curnow deals, that I'd kind of folded Ted Clohesy into that as a sweetener, a player who's definitely of a decent level, as being a part of some of those transactions. So I am shocked that given the club had planned or at least considered the prospect of delisting, I'm sure that was pending other actions during the trade period. If the club was planning on delisting, I'm surprised that a similar deal to the Patrick Rechko one didn't emerge where, he was still on the list. We hadn't announced publicly that we're going to delist him. So it could have been a pick 60, a pick 70 to get that deal over the line. He's shown that he's capable. His VFL numbers are fantastic. He was worthy of being selected 9 times this season. Yes, 6 of those were as the sub. And I think, honestly, in a lot of ways, the club's done him dirty with the number of opportunities he got being constrained by the sub vest. So I'm really disappointed for him in that regard, because I think this is a guy that was definitely capable of playing at the AFL level. I know we've got an incredibly strong list. And so maybe this makes all the sense in the world, which is, Ted, Geelong's probably not the right club for you, but we're confident there's a club that will take you on board. Please utilize your manager and go chasing those opportunities. And I do really hope that Ted gets picked up by another club through the draft, the preseason draft, rookie drafts, whatever it happens to be, because he's definitely worthy of playing at this level. And his brother on the Gold Coast kind of proves that there's a bit of ticker between these two boys. And I think he will get a home, and hopefully he doesn't have to travel too far to go find that new home. Hopefully it's not too much of an ordeal to get to that point either. The other half of the conversation is the little sub note there. Again, let's quickly, it's just a throwaway comment here at the end of the piece. The Cats have also delisted George Stevens and Keighton Matofai-Forbes, with the club committed to redrafting them in next month's rookie draft. This makes me anxious, if I'm being perfectly honest. This makes me really anxious. Keighton Matofai-Forbes is still incredibly early and unproven at the top level. He's had some injury troubles. There's promise there for sure, but he hasn't really been able to show what he's capable of. So I wholeheartedly understand the rationale here. But when it comes to George Stevens, this is a really tricky topic. This is a guy who absolutely deserved to get a Rising Star nomination early in the year and was done dirty by the AFL as far as I'm concerned. He was clearly the best young player in the week that he put in an absolute blinder against Richmond. And then obviously didn't have a great game in the second week, was subbed out, and then didn't return since. But I think demonstrated more than enough capacity. Now, clearly the club thinks that too, and that's why they're committed to redrafting him. But the problem that you face here is that other clubs undoubtedly have now seen what he's capable of, either through his VFL performances, which have been absolutely stellar, or his AFL cameos, and look and go, this is a guy who's capable of it. The Cats have left him wide open. Let's snap him up. And so I'm really worried now, and I know that the likes of the Vellas who'll be watching this and many others, certainly the Chaps, I'm really anxious about this prospect. I'm glad that the Cats have guaranteed that they've got a home in the AFL system in season 2026. But I'm really anxious that another club is going to go and scoop up George Stevens in particular, because you don't even have to be paying that close of an attention to recognize that this guy's got it. He's an incredibly talented player with a bucket load of potential, and I am really worried that he's going to get scooped up here. And it gives me a little pit in my gut. Which sucks. I'm worried about it. I don't want to see George Stevens leave our football club. So if you can put it, if you're watching this and you represent the Geelong Football Club, or you're just a fan, get out there and just speak so negatively about George Stevens right now. Make sure he is well and truly off the radar of every other club, because we want to see him rookie drafted and return to the Cats for season 2026, where he'll get more opportunities, I hope, and deliver on the bucket loads of promise that I think this guy has. That's where we'll wrap things up, Cats fans. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you've enjoyed it, drop a like on it, subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube, and share this video with your friends and family. Get the word out there about the Hoops Crew and all the awesome content that we're creating from myself, Ben, and the Chaps. If you like it, consider checking out our Patreon as well, where there's early access, extended, and exclusive content there for you, all behind a $5 a month paywall. That's all it costs, $5 a month. It's a cup of coffee. Less in this current climate. $5 is all it takes to get all that early access content. And if you want to see what it's about, there's a 7-day free trial there to check it out as well. That $5 price remains in place for the remainder of 2025, but in 2026, that price goes up. That $5 tier will disappear. And so only those who are subscribed to that tier will continue to get it at that price. In terms of socials, you'll find me at Paul James Games. That's Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew, you'll find at the Hoops Crew. And until next time, thank you, Ted Clohesy, for all that you've offered the Cats. Thank you to both Keighton Matofai-Forbes and George Stevens, and I hope to see you two in the Hoops again in season 2026, lest no other club scoop you up. Thank you very much for watching. Remain Geelong strong, and I'll see you later.